I still have an eating disorder. That's the reason why I don't allow myself to have any sugar. I haven't had ice cream or pizza or cookies in about 2 years. I've had zero sugar in my diet for about a year. I don't eat any processed food. All the food I eat only has one ingredient. I'm very OCD. Like people in my life think I'm OCD. In my ebook, don't buy, by the way, it's scary and fucked up. Yeah, don't buy that shit. Unless you want to get fucking scared shitless, or like you want to see like, yeah, the other people are like really fucked up and shit. Yeah, so I used to have an eating disorder. I guess if you want to say, I technically do. My book talks about how, I'm very OCD, and it takes me about 36 hours to live in like a day, and I need more than 24 hours. And that's the reason why I don't shower. Like, people are like, why don't you shower? You should love yourself more. I'm like, I don't believe in the concepts of man. Like, men, like, they're into the concepts of man, women and men that like are guided by commercials and TV and shit like that want like to attract a mate. It really comes down to attracting a mate. Like, if you don't want to attract a mate, like, you could separate yourself from the concepts of man. And the concepts of man are pretty much like, if you want to be accepted by this culture and society, you have to do this, 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 and this. You should buy these clothes, you should wear this perfume, you should wear this cologne, you should buy this soap, you should have this car, you should wear this watch, you should buy this cell phone, you should do all these things where like you could fit in, people won't reject you, you could attract an attractive mate, and you could surround yourself around a life of beauty, comfort, ease, and you could get everything that you want, you could appear successful, and people will like you, right? But if you're like me, you don't give a fucking rat shit about like being accepted. I used to. But now I've separated myself from man. I'm not being sexist here, you could say man and woman. But like, I've separated myself from man and woman, right? Where I'm just existing. I'm no longer a person. I'm no longer a human. I'm just here with all things, creation, existence. And I no longer am a person. I'm no longer in the human species or a human being. I don't think like them. I don't want what they want. And when they see me, I'm here with them. But I have no desire to attract a mate, have sex with anybody, anything like that. I'm just here with creation and all things. I tend to stay away from women most of the time, because whenever a woman appears that wants to make out with me and I kiss her, I'm like, oh my God, that was the greatest feeling in the world. And I just want to make out with her all the time. And if she's not available, I want to make out with more people. And all of a sudden, I'll be making out with like 2-3 different women in 1 week. And it's really fucking crazy. So I try to distance myself from that world, because I'm like very hypersexual, right? Because I have borderline personality disorder. And when you have borderline personality disorder, you're either in or you're out, right? So like, we go through bouts of where we don't want to have sex with anyone. We're like, oh my God, no, afraid of sex. No sex. Because we're either depressed, or we're scared of rejection, or we're scared of abandonment, or we're scared of just like being hurt again. Because when you have borderline personality disorder, you're so different from the human race that you get rejected again and again and again and again, because you can't be the same person all the time. You're always a different human. So people think you're weird. They like distance themselves from you, and they're like, yo, that person's fucking weird. Like, if you watch that, okay, all right, here's an example. Look at all my videos. There's like a million of them, right? Because I film one of these every fucking single day, right? So like, scroll down and watch all my fucking videos. So don't do that. You fucking lose your mind. But like if you just like watch, boom, 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 boom. There's one, I'm in like second or third row, and I'm like, like that one's fucking scary as balls. Because I start off like this. I'm like joking. I'm talking about having an alien eye because there's this like small circle light in the camera. And then by the end, I just become a fucking homicidal goddamn psychopath, serial killer, where I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And I'm fucking just the scariest goddamn human on the fucking planet. Because that's where my mind goes. Like, I'm just like, I'm normal. I could be normal. And then all of a sudden I make that fucking shift and I want to fucking kill people. And it's just like, even talking about it brings me there. When I go to mental institutions, the doctors are like, okay, they actually made a rule, they wrote it in a fucking book, that I was not allowed to talk about killing people, and I was not allowed to make certain facial expressions, and I was not allowed to like actually think or talk about the desires to kill the human race and the human species. Because if you left it up to me, I'd kill all of the fucking, like, okay, time out. Okay, so let me back off. Okay, so when I go to mental institutions, they tell me not to go there. I'm not allowed to speak about it. I'm not even allowed to make certain facial expressions because I have a facial expression where I lift my eyebrow, and once I go, I become that person. It's like a split personality disorder. I'm a bunch of different people, right? So I'm the spiritual person where I could dissolve the human and I'm connected to all things. That's one of me. I'm the 3-year-old, so when I reach severe depression, I become a 3-year-old. I talk about that in the book. I become the psychopath, which is a very scary individual. And then I become the confidence guy because I'm so present all the time. I just become confident because I am the present moment. I'm no longer a human and I do not see myself as a human. And once I see myself as not human, I can be very confident because I no longer have an inferior or superior complex. And the one thing that Alfred Adler said is that if you do not want to have a superior or an inferior complex, or if you don't have a problem with if you don't want to have a problem with self-esteem, you don't see yourself as a human. You just become the present moment. And in so doing, being the present moment, you have confidence because you're no longer a human. You've separated yourself from comparison. You're not comparing yourself to anybody anymore. You just are. You're just here with all things. And you're no longer a person. You've dissolved yourself. You're no longer Bob or Jill or Debbie or Madison or whatever the fuck you are. You're no longer a person. You're no longer you. I don't look at myself in the goddamn mirror. Whenever I'm becoming extremely spiritual in these videos, you'll see I do not look at the fucking camera. I'm always drifting. I'm looking at leaves on the ground. And I don't give them names. They're not even leaves. They're just things that are here with me. I don't label or give names to anything. I don't even give a label or a fucking name to myself. I had no role. I don't see my mother as my mother. I don't see my niece as my niece. I don't see my sister as my sister. They're just people that are here with me, that I'm connecting and communicating with. But I'm not labeling them. I don't give them a role. There's no roles. Whenever I go to a restaurant, I don't eat at restaurants, by the way, but I go there with people because they want me to go with them, and I just sit there and I just look around. And when the waitress comes or the waiter comes, I just connect with them. And every single time I go to a fucking restaurant, even though I'm not the one eating, the waitress or the waiter always has more of a connection with me and likes me the most. Because they understand, just by my level of consciousness and presence, that I'm not classifying them. I'm not judging them at all. I'm not categorizing them. I'm not giving them a role. I'm just here with them. And I'm communicating with them as a loving being. Because the only way to be truly present, or the only way to be truly loving, is to be the present moment. Okay, I gotta go. Thank you so much.